Hi, everyone. Well,
Hey.
Leah, hi.
Hello.
James and I are here today, and we're going to talk about a bunch of different things today. But what we were just talking to Leo about, which is who Leo's an Actors Fast Track client, is about a meetup that we're doing in New York City. So one of the things, James, that oh, by the way, hi, I'm Valorie Hubbard, CEO of Actors Fast Track, and this is
I'm James Hallett, and I'm with Actors Fast Track. No, I'm James Hallett with James Hallett Studio, although I'm here with Actors Fast Track. Yeah.
yes.
Um,
And Actors Fast Track, I live in Los Angeles, but we have clients in New York as well. And James lives in New York, and he has clients in LA.
and we share a lot of clients, which is lovely.
We do. So James coaches a lot of my clients, and he has series regulars everywhere, and people doing guest stars and co-stars. So if you need to be coaching and want a book, I would probably recommend coaching with James. That's just saying. I'm just saying. And then if you want a career, you should probably work with Actors Fast Track. Just saying.
Yes.
Okay. So anyway, what we found is, we have a lot of clients in New York. In fact, we just, Christina Mueller is going to work with us another year. I just found out this morning.
Oh, great.
It's awesome. And she was on our panel at the Mind Games in New York, for you guys that were with us in the Mind Games in New York. Anyway, my coaches in New York, Carolyn Faye Kramer and Mathia Vargas, have really recommended that we do a monthly meetup. So we're using that organization, meetup.com, and we're going to schedule a monthly meetup in Manhattan. I think it's going to be at Soho WeWork, but if you sign up so you go to Meetup, we're listed as New York City actors. We already have one scheduled for September 14th, and that's going to cut off at 25. I have about 9 people signed up for it right now. It'll probably fill up this weekend, I would think, as soon as people hear this and see this. I'm probably going to do one in the afternoon. It's going to only be 2 hours, but what we're going to be working on in that is what we did at the Summer Games.
Oh, cool.
Brand to pitch, right? So really taking your brand and pitch, because on November 3rd, 4th, and 5th in Los Angeles is our 3rd annual Game Changer event. It's the only 3-day event designed for actors around their acting career. For any 3-day event for actors, it's the only one. And ours is then. And so we want you guys to show up at that all ready to go out there. I mean, we have great things. Like we have our, biz plan, and we do branding and everything with our clients. But the problem that I see, and you can comment on this, James, is that actors are always getting ready.
Yeah, we can spend a lot of time. We can spend a lot of time playing in the kitchen, and tasting the recipes, and we can even have our friends come in and taste the recipes, and we spend a lot of money on the recipe, and we spend a lot of money on ingredients, and we don't ever take the recipe
or feed people.
That's right. We don't ever offer it to the. I was talking to people about having coached people into 3 series regular roles. I've been looking at what are the core things that go into that, and one of the biggest ones is that you're in the market. People are well, how do I do that? Well, right. the biggest number one thing is that you've got to be in the market in front of people. You
right.
can't be in the kitchen tasting the recipe.
No, you can't be. And let's just take this analogy so you really understand what we're saying. You guys are spending all your time, and here's an acting teacher telling you this. You're spending all your time in acting class, getting new headshots, and looking for that agent that's going to solve all your problems. There is no agent that's going to solve all your problems in existence, right? So those are the 3 things that you guys spend all your time doing: looking for an agent, getting a new headshot, and going to acting class. None of that has to do with sales.
Right. Now, as a coach, I believe in getting coached. I believe in coaching to develop your craft. I believe in coaching to get ready to put yourself in front of people, right? I believe in that. But all the coaching in the world won't make a bit of difference if that is not in front of a buyer. If you're not able to get in front of somebody who can actually say, we want to offer you the role.
Right.
So this is the balance. Valorie does an amazing job of talking to people about the business and creating the entrepreneurial mindset that allows us to actually sell.
Right.
And that's the big difference. I mean, and I just want to say, I want to do a shout out to Arthur Griffith, who now, and one of the things I pushed with Arthur was, you've been coaching, you've been training, you're ready, go out there. And he did, and he now has a manager, and the manager is sending him out.
Yeah, and he had an audition the other day. What do you have an audition for?
Yep.
Blind Spot?
What was the show?
Something.
No, it was Gotham.
Gotham. Oh, they love him. They keep bringing him.
I know.
And Misha likes him, and he's built that over time. I mean, Arthur started working with Actors Fast Track. Like, she's an early bird of us 4 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
And it's been amazing to watch his journey, become a better actor. And also Doreen Calderon did his postcard for him that he sent out, which was lovely.
Which is fantastic. Yeah. I love it.
I know. I love how we all work together. But so what the game changer, so our game changer, I want to talk a little bit about that, because what it's designed to do is change your game. But if you are just stuck in that same thing that I find actors stuck in, like, well, I was going to take this acting class. I mean, there was a girl that showed up to that shows up to all my events, and she's taken, I think, 6 branding courses as an actor. And she's never made a living as an actor or even been paid very much as an actor, right? It's like, it's like you got to get your product ready. We do that, and we did that this summer in the summer games. We're doing that in these meetups in New York.
Yeah.
You can get on our calendar to talk to us, but the game changer is to get you activated. It's to change your game once and for all. I was talking to my client, Christina Mueller, this morning, and in the first year of working with us, she got a big manager. She's going out. Things are happening. I mean, and the biggest thing for her is, though, she's now a full-time actor.
That's
not a part-time actor. Right? Awesome. So the game changer is a little different this year. We wanted to do something different and give you sort of, it's not just 3 days of sitting in the audience with me on stage and guests on stage. However, we do have an element of that, but it's kind of a little different of a 3-day event this year. I would highly recommend that you commit to all 3 days. Here's the deal. We only have 28 spots to commit to all 3 left already.
Wow.
Yeah, we just launched and we had 50 and now we have 28.
Wow.
Okay, so what that means is that you need to get a ticket right now if you want to participate in all 3 days. All 3 days starts November 3rd, and November 3rd is going to be a private, that's the VIP event. So the VIP ticket gets you entrance to all 3 days. The first day is Friday, November 3rd. It's a sit-down retreat. We are in the same hotel where they host the Oscars, right next door, and where they all come to do their Oscar press junket. In fact, the room that we're in on Sunday is that room. The first day, we're going to be up in the Hollywood Suite, which is overlooking the Hollywood Hills and the Hollywood sign. And we're going to be serving breakfast and lunch, and this hotel has phenomenal food. Sit down breakfast and lunch, not, some donuts. I mean, like high end.
And what's the name of the hotel?
It's Hollywood Lowe's Hotel. Okay. And the site is up, aftgamechanger.com. Like I said, we're already down to only 28 VIP tickets left out of 50.
Wow.
So what's going to be happening on November 3rd is we're going to get deep right off the bat. We're going to so James is going to be doing an hour, acting thing. We're going to have an hour from Tish Hicks from the VO Dojo. And so she's going to get us, you know, for you guys that like, what do I need to do to be a voiceover artist? Right? We're going to do that kind of work. We're going to have, of course, a lot of coaching from me and from the 5 Actors Fast Track coaches. And we're also going to be talking about something I don't really want to say on this because I don't want to scare you guys away, but we are going to talk about money. Because here was the big aha.
I know. I can feel it already. Like I feel like even the mention of money, like I can feel actors going, ah, right?
Okay, here's the deal. I was at this huge entrepreneur event, right? 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago. And this big entrepreneurial woman who makes like millions of dollars a year was on stage. And I got up to the mic and I was asking her questions and I said, you know, and I said, I work with actors. And I told her what, you know, what actors want, you know, and she said to me, well, honey, where's all the money in that? Actors want to make money, don't they? She goes, we have a lot of people here that used to be actors. Y'all want to make money, didn't you? And in my head, I'm thinking, oh, girl, you don't know nothing. I'm talking about real actors, like serious on TV that you recognize actors. And I can tell you that most actors I know don't think about money. And then this light bulb went off. Ding! And I was like, that's the difference between us. You say that, here's what I say. Between money and when you think of money, when you think of business, it puts you in a different mindset. And that's why those people are on series.
Yep.
Because my actors weren't thinking about money, and that's the problem. That's one of the problems because money means business. So this is the best part about money. We have one of the original Tina and Tony and Tina's wedding going to teach you about money. So it'll be a blast and it'll be hilarious and fun, right? And she's made it hilarious and fun for me, right? So we're gonna do a little bit of that just to get into business because, you know, look, people are like, you know, when people hire me, I'm always like, get ready. If you want your money, you know, you're gonna work hard. But when you have it right in front of you about what you want in your life, you'll do whatever it takes. I wrote this great quote from, let me see if I can find it. Anyway, let me talk about the rest of the 3-day before I get off subject. And then I am going to find this quote because it was a very good quote. So the second day, November 4th, is the Actor Pro Expo at the same hotel in the ballroom. There are going to be 100 or so exhibitors with acting businesses there. Actors Fast Track is the host of the expo. We are the big daddy at the expo. Also, Netflix and Amazon is going to be there. And there's talk that James Franco is going to be there doing a little 2-minute film festival. So you go out and make a film, and then whoever wins, like a thing. So there's a lot happening. That's going to be exciting. We also, Actors Fast Track, are going to have a suite all day, the #1 suite in the hotel, at the top of the hotel, the producer suite. And we're going to, you know, and so if you're a client, you know, or you are a ticket holder, you know, and you come to the expo, we'll invite you up for a cocktail or an hors d'oeuvre. We'll be having a lot of fun, different things going on. We're going to be having a lot of fun, and we're going to be giving away a biz plan. That's $1,000, people. We're going to give that away at the booth. There's going to be a huge drawing, right? So it's going to be exciting. That's the second day. And then the third day is the stage, me teaching the system, you know, you applying it to it and showing you different examples, which I think is very powerful. Last year we did that, and I thought people told me that really moved them. You see different actors telling their story about like how they got on TV.
Yeah.
You know, we Skyped in Alexander, you know, and he's a series regular on the Americans, and right, we had him, we had people, you know, it was great. Brian Coffey, who's one of our coaches, who's books daily pretty much now. So he books all the time. So, you know, it was exciting to that. So that's the 3 days. Now you can get a room at the Hollywood Lowe's, but also down the street is a Holiday Inn. So don't worry so much about your room. And a lot of you probably have friends in LA that you can crash with, and that's fine. The event hours are Friday is going to be 9 to 6. It's a long one. That retreat, we want you to get your full money's worth. Saturday, you can come and go. You do not have to stay for the whole day of the expo. I will be teaching 2 individual classes throughout the day. And once we know those times, we'll let you know. So I'll be teaching like an hour-long class, and those things fill up. I did it in New York, and they had standing room only. And then on Sunday, we're going to start at 9 a.m. as well. So right. Sunday is a full day, 9 to 6. And Friday is a full day, 9 to 6. And Saturday, you can come in and out. But you're going to want to come to the expo. I mean, we put the expo in the middle for a reason, because we wanted to show you there was other resources and things like that, right? So that it's designed as 3 days that are about you and your career. And I'll bet you guys haven't spent 3 days on your career.
Well, yeah. And I want to address that for a second, because, people might say, but I go to classes, and I'm in plays, and I'm in, right. And I want to sort of lift up what Valorie is talking about when she uses the word career. She's not talking about all of the back end of the business stuff, right? I'm working on my headshots. I'm working on my coaching. I'm working on a monologue. Right. That's, if you think of a restaurant as an example, the back end stuff is making sure that the plates are all clean, making sure that the food is prepped, making sure that you've got staffing there, making sure, right? That's all the back end of the restaurant. What Valorie is talking about career, when she talks about career, it's looking at the bigger picture, like that the big picture of the restaurant is not just the back end stuff. It's not just the coaching in a class. It's not just, preparing your monologue, and, the career is looking at the business as a whole. Where am I going? How am I moving from the acting coaching that I'm getting into the management and the agent, into reaching out to the sellers and the buyers, right? So the sellers is one step. The people who sell us are our managers and our agents. People who buy us are casting directors, showrunners, executive producers, right? So if we look at the acting career, so this word career, and I hope this is in line with what you're talking about, Valorie. The word career is really about thinking of ourselves as running a complete business.
Yes. Right. Exactly right. And listen to me. When you're on a series, you're working 7, 8 months, 9 months, maybe 9 months almost, 8 months, 9 months, mostly. And you're working a minimum of 5 days a week. If it's a 1-hour drama or a 1-hour series, probably like 6 a.m. some days till midnight.
Yeah.
Right. 1 a.m. Or maybe you have a night shoot if you're on a vampire show. I did that. I did 3 episodes of True Blood. It's not fun. You wake up at noon and you're like, okay, it's morning. That was when Michael Jackson died. And I was like, I heard it on the radio and I wasn't quite awake yet. Right. And so I was like, what? What did they say? Right. So that's how much you work when you're on a series. So you, as an actor that's trying to be on a series, need to be working that much. Your problem is you're part-time. Your part-time actor is getting part-time results. The solve is to become a full-time actor. So what is it worth for you to become a full-time actor? I mean, you say, this is the thing I see with actors. They say they want to be an actor. They say that's what they want, but they're not the actions aren't showing what they say they want. They're a walking, contradiction, right? So do you really want it? How much do you want it? How much do you want it? I mean, it's not, look, with entrepreneurship, see, here's the thing that no one ever tells an actor. You're an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart, right, James?
Yeah. Yes.
Let me tell you, if you haven't, like when you're an actor and you start a business when you're 50 years old, here's what happens. Do you know how much I've grown up in 5 years? I think I grew up from the age of 16 to like 30 now. Just in 5 years, because I was forced to, because I realized that I was an entrepreneur, and then everything made sense, right? To what I've been trying to say for 30 years in the business of acting. And then, you know, what's happened is I realized, wow, that's the issue. If I can get them to understand what entrepreneurship is and get them to build a healthy business, they'll be a successful actor every time. I don't have a, you know, it's like, it drives me crazy when someone hires me and nothing happens, like they don't book anything in the first year, but then I go, nothing happens. I just went through that, and it was like, oh, I was put on hold for a reoccurring on Mozart in the Jungle. I got an audition for Mozart in the Jungle this year because I called and pitched myself. I was in a show that everyone said a star was born in, where I played Mary Trump. This is Christina's year. You know, I signed with a really big manager. I went in for Blind Spot last week. Like, it starts to, you go, okay, I didn't book anything. But do you see how close she is?
Yep.
And she would have never done that because what happened by hiring Actors Fast Track, she became a full-time actor. And look what it got her in 1 year. I mean, I can go on. So we made the list today so she can see it. And when you're working hard, you need to make a list and put it up on the wall of what you've accomplished. Here's something that I told her to do today with her career. So see these circles back here? These are, when I sell something, I mark these circles, right? So I have all these different things, right? So you can see like the ones I've marked this year. You can see the ones, and all the way down there, I've sold a lot of those. That's a brand new page. That was full, right? So those are things that I sell. So what I say is, as an actor, you only need 1,000 true fans, okay? And we want you to get in the mind of those fans. Let's start with those fans being your customers. And your customers are casting directors, directors, producers, and writers. Casting directors, directors, producers, and writers. So if you have 1,000 of those people that are in your fan club. So what I mean by that is, you know, when they're casting a project, or when they're writing a part, or when they're directing a movie and there's a character that you fit, you're one of the first people they think of, because you are someone, their go-to people, right? We all have go-to people. I go to Star Arena to walk my dog, right? I go to this groomer to get my dog. I go to this pet store to get the food. And we all have different reasons why we have our go-to things. You have to have that. So you only need 1,000, and that's in Russell Brunson's book, but a very big entrepreneur said that you only need 1,000 true fans. If you're an artist and you're selling some kind of art form, you only need 1,000 to have an amazing career and make a lot of money as an actor. So what I'd like you to do is, I'd like you to get some big poster board, or do one of these cool things and do 1,000 circles. And put them up somewhere where you see them. And every time you get a fan, you mark it in there, okay? Then on a weekly basis, when you're taking your 5 actions a week, 2 of those actions are going to be towards that fan club. I'm pointing ahead of me because I put it on that wall, the fan club. Okay? We're building 1,000 true fans. That's all we need, people. So let's get to work, because 1,000 circles will fill up fast.
Yeah, and
we all have like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 friends on Facebook. A lot of us do.
And what I want to add to what you're saying, Valorie, is it's not different from what you're saying. It's really sort of following on the vein you're going on. When we come close on an audition, and we walk out the door, right? Like, we know we nailed it, and then we don't get the role. Now we as actors. I hear this all the time from people. They walk out the door and they beat themselves up because they didn't get it. We have to be very careful not to get discouraged by coming close. coming close is a sign that you're doing it right. And I will tell you something. It is so frequent that I hear people say that they'll walk into a room with a casting director who they auditioned for 2 years ago, right? And the casting director will call them in, and they'll have an amazing audition like the one they did 2 years ago. And the casting director will say to them, "Oh, I'm so glad you could do this. I've been looking for the right role for you." Now think about that. The casting director, their job is to know people in the market. If you walk in the door and you do a knock it out of the park job with an audition, that casting director, even if they don't cast you in that role, is gonna mark you with a gold star. And they're gonna be thinking, when can I give Valorie Hubbard the next role?
Yeah.
When, right? And this is really
why
like,
you have to keep up with them. That's why you put them up there and you say, okay, so full-time actors take 5 actions minimum a week towards their customer base. So 2 of those actions are going to be towards those people, because then they might not have something that you're right for right now, but they loved you, like James said. So down the road, they're going to need you if you are defined as a person. That's why actors who are selling everything are selling nothing, because no one buys versatility. They don't buy that. They buy you specifically for who you are. Like if I want a soft teddy bear who can have an anger issue or a problem, I'm going to hire James, right? Like if I want the boy and ballsy broad who will take you to the fun house, I'm going to hire myself, right? So I like knowing that thing about you is really, really important, and building your fan club. I believe in putting things. Do you do this a lot too, James? Put things out in front of you? Like, do you do things like this, like marking things?
oh yeah, I have to. I actually do it on my computer a lot. So I actually created, there's a great program called OmniFocus.
Omni, like OMNI?
Yep, OmniFocus.
Okay.
And what OmniFocus does is it allows you to create a list of, so you can send things from your inbox directly into OmniFocus. You can create projects, and they can be linear projects or sequential. So you can do a project where it's like, it doesn't matter what the order is, right?
Yeah.
You got to do these things. You got to do these 10 things. Or you can create a project where number 2 can't happen until number 1 happens, right?
All right.
And then you can flag things, and you can check things off as you finish them. So I use OmniFocus to sort of keep track of, what are the core steps that I'm taking in my business? What are the core steps? And it keeps me in line. Like I have it in front of my face, and I know I've got a webinar today with Valorie, so I've got to think about that. I've got to prepare for it.
Yeah.
I'm working on a screenplay, and I've got a meeting for that. But we finished our first draft, and now we're like on draft 30 now, but we're getting to the place, like the next step up is to do a reading. So, this is the kind of thing, like, we need to find out what works for us. You're running a business, and this is, Valerie, I have to say, like, when I coach actors, and they come in with a piece that they're working on, and I sometimes I'm surprised when they sort of go, wow, this is much more complicated than I thought. Like the scene they're working on or the audition. They're like, oh my God, I didn't know all this was in there.
Yeah.
And what it really sort of reminds me of, and reminds me in terms of like being an actor, is what Valorie said a few minutes ago, which is being an entrepreneur is not it's not for the faint of heart. Being an actor requires a lot of work, and this job is not an easy job. It is not like, and if you come to being an actor because you think this is easy, this is the wrong field. I mean, this job,
that's why you have to want it so much. I mean, that's why, like, if you don't want it, if it's not like you have to do it, then that's what they were trying to tell us that first day of acting school. They just didn't know how to say it well.
I have a story about that. So when I
They tell you that in every acting school, don't they? They're like, if you can do anything else, go do it.
So when I went to Wesleyan, Valorie, I transferred from Williams College to Wesleyan University, and I was thinking about being an acting major, but I wasn't sure. And I went to the head of the acting program, he's a big teacher at Wesleyan, and I walked into his office and I said, well, I'd like to talk to you about like why should I be an actor? Like why should I study acting? And he looked at me and he said, "Get out of my office! Get out!" And I was like, "What?" He said, "Get out!" And I was like, what do you mean get out? And he said, "Do you know how many actors know they want to be actors? You know how many people know that they want this? There's no question for them." He said, "If you walk in here and you're asking me," he said, "don't do it." He said, "Don't do it. Do anything else." He said, if that's your question, then do something else. If you want to be an actor,
and here's the thing, the truth of that, what I hear, I guess for me is that, it's okay though to question ourselves.
Yes. And he actually,
was really trying to teach you a lesson.
He was trying to teach me a lesson, and he was also challenging me.
Yeah.
He was challenging me. He was challenging me to, listen, a year after that, he saw me in a show and he said, "Oh my God, I only have one more year to work with you." So he was challenging me.
Yeah.
And he wasn't like his energy of sending me out the door was very dramatic, right? Like he was being dramatic, but he was challenging me to fight for my place.
Right.
And this is part of the challenge for all of us is, and you mentioned Russell Brunson, Valorie. Now, yes. Russell Brunson, you guys, for those of you who don't know, Russell Brunson is like a master seller. He is an amazing coach for business people. He is fantastic. I don't.
What does he make? I think he makes like $100,000 a week.
Oh, he makes so much. Yeah, he makes so much money. Oh actually, he makes more than $100,000 a week because his mastermind is $100,000 a year.
Yeah, if you hire him for your company, you pay him $100,000 plus up to $1 million in commissions to build your ClickFunnels.
Yeah. So Russell Brunson.
He's pretty cool. Read his books. Everyone should read his books. Russell Brunson. I'm going to put it in the thing. You talk.
So one of the things that Russell Brunson says is he tells the story of trying to create a package that will sell. Right. One of his first packages that he said he tried 100 different ways of putting it out there before it hit, and it began making $17,000 a week, right? So I think he was selling it was like a workout package, like a
yeah, he sounds like he's not, we really, the problem is with actors, it's like we're selling ourselves. That's what people think. But what I try to get my actors to understand is you're not selling yourself. You're selling a product, which happens to be a part of you.
Yeah.
But there's a portion of you that you don't have to bring out when you sell it. And then if you can really separate that, the thing that Deb, who's going to teach us about money, said to me is, she's like, your business is like your baby. It's from you, but it's not you. And so as an actor, you are not you in that sense. It's like you're selling. The more you can separate, the better. And if you read a book like .com Secrets, which is a book I would recommend that you do read, really try to find yourself as an actor and understand, because he tells you exactly how to market anything. Right? And different sequences. But like the soap opera sequence is hilarious to me, because for years I've been telling actors, when you start in with a new customer, you should probably hit them like 3 times in a row. So the soap opera sequence is that when you start off with a new customer, you contact them once a day, 5 days in a row. But the soap opera part is you tell a story. And the thing is, marketing has become about storytelling. So you as an actor tell your story. So like Ruby Mercado is a perfect example of that right now. So Ruby is a young Latino mom. You guys know her. She's booked this year working with us, Scorpion on CBS, and the Thundermans, or one of those shows on Nickelodeon where she was a superwoman, a Jack in the Box, a Hyundai, both national commercials, and she booked a lead in a movie that she gets paid for that shoots in Hawaii.
Awesome.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So she's telling the story of being a real mom. She has 3 daughters, and the youngest one has some issues, right? And so she's telling the story of being a Hollywood mom and doing it for her girls and what that's like, and she's vlogging about it. So her marketing so people go, oh, I need a young Latino mom. She becomes the go-to young Latino mom in Los Angeles. Right? That's the stand that I'm taking for Ruby as a client, right? That she's the young new mom of Latino mom. That's a go-to girl, you know, if you want that. And so she's building that story with her audience. That's one example of using what Russell is teaching and transferring it to your acting career.
Yeah, and Russell really does a great job of talking about persistence.
Yeah.
You know, he says that we, you know, and like as a marketing person, it doesn't matter what you're selling. There are a couple of stages, and one of the stages is what is the market buying? Like, what do they want? Right? We have to know what they want.
Yeah.
We have to pay attention to television shows. We have to pay attention. Like, you know, we might think, oh, I know exactly how to sell myself. But really, we have to pay attention to how people are responding to us. Yeah,
look, right? You guys, you can make it to the top 10% at ABC for a series regular by just showing up on time and showing up prepared and showing up on brand and dressed as the character.
Yep.
You're all ready to call back just doing that. Like, all of the things that you can control in the room. Because, you know, two of my clients have been readers for ABC in New York, you know, and one of them was at a series regular audition, and 3 people were no-shows. 2 or 3, I think it was more, 4 people were noticeably late.
Wow.
People weren't prepared. She was like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, you think that in New York, you should see LA. It's even worse. I mean, you know, I remember Kate Walsh said to me when I moved here, she said, oh, you'll be fine. Cream rises to the top. It does so quickly in LA. Like, you know, but persistence is the key. You know, it's the actor that is the actor that gets up every fucking time he gets knocked down and just keeps going. You know, I look at like Matthew Mayer. Like, Matthew Mayer is having an amazing career. I remember doing Shakespeare with him in the 90s in the park. You know, Scott Cargill, who's a coach for me, directed us, and Corey Alanis. Matthew and I laughed together. And Matthew is an incredible actor. If you guys don't know him, look him up. He's amazing. And, you know, and he just kept getting up and kept going back. And now he's got a really good career. And he's on some show now. I saw him I went to see a Broadway show or something. I was down in the main part, whatever you call that.
You mean you mean the theater?
No, the bottom. You know, what do you call the bottom? The main part. What do you call that?
I have to tease you about this. You mean you're sitting in the orchestra?
Yes.
It's been too long, Valerie. You have to come back and do a New York Broadway show.
I know. I actually was like sitting here going, you and I was like, and look at Leo and Carolyn as Nick and Honey.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. That'd be awesome.
Did Leo hear that? Now he woke up. He's like,
he woke. Yeah, I know.
Oh, exactly. I've been paying attention the whole time. This is the first time you skewed past me in something.
Yeah. Well, I've been thinking about that. So we're going to talk about that, not on this, but we're going to talk about that in a minute. Because I was told by my coach that I just have to focus on the 3-day and not worry about my acting. Acting is my Christmas gift, which I was like, ding. I'm going to give myself something I want for Christmas. A play. All right. And I'm going to fucking do a play. Yay!
Yay!
All right. Okay. So, what else? What else?
Well, we have two people on right now, Laura and Leo. Like, do you guys have any questions? Laura,
I have a question.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, hi guys. I just got back from the gym and I'm not fully clothed. So
Laura, Carson, thank you for the chocolate candies. I got them in the mail when I got home.
I'm so glad you got them. Good.
They were
Good,
chocolate diet candies, just to preface that. Arbonne.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you received them.
Mm-hmm.
No, I wanted to say hello and just how psyched I am because how long have I been working with you? Since what, November? Yeah.
Yes.
That's me. Yes, I know. So no, I'm just really grateful anytime I get to sort of plug in and just keep hearing. You guys have become like this kind of loop in my brain, which is far better than the loop that I came in with.
Yes.
And yeah, so just keep.
You have, like, you already had amazing things happening for you when you were on the road to amazing things when you came to work with us. But the thing is that it's just been for you, and I think often it is for people that have been in the business for a long time, it's more about the mindset.
It's totally the mindset.
And it's the framing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And realizing too, like, that sort of proportional growth in that concept of, you know, the steps I've taken to get a certain place, but now to move to the next place is requiring different steps and bigger steps and just bigger stuff and taking more risks. And so yeah, I don't really have any specific questions per se. I haven't had a chance to jump in on too many of the webinars with you and James. So I'm just happy to, I don't know.
Well, we're happy you're here.
Yeah, it's nice to have you.
Yeah, Laura's done the LA to Vegas pilot, American Crime, Uncorked, her web series, which the episode she wrote was directed by Doreen Frankel. Dime Short, Dime Short, and look at all the stuff she's done. Oh my God, right? I mean, you are super busy, and you get auditions all the time. You're doing great. So congratulations.
So Valorie, just think about this for a second. Laura Carson and Aubin Philibom as sisters.
Oh, totally.
Can't you see that?
It should be, you know what, I'd love to see them in the Three Sisters.
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Laura would be perfect as Mosh. I would make, Aubin would be perfect as
Masha.
As Masha. And then you would be Katrina, what's her, the oldest, Olga.
Olga,
right?
Yeah.
And then we need an Irina.
Yeah.
We have Russians.
We have Russians.
Right?
We do. We have a lot of we have a new girl that just started working with us, Natalie Friedman. Check this out. Like, she is doing so good. She's building her social media platform. That's all she's doing. Let's talk about that for a second, shall we?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Great. So the tide has turned. If you have a business, it already turned, but I just want to make it really clear to actors. If you have a business of acting, you need to have social media.
Yep.
Period.
Yeah.
Like, there's no like, oh, well, I'm not really into that. It's like, well, then don't fucking have a business. I mean, go be an amateur actor, but good luck having a regular career without social media. Because they are now 50% of the time, they're asking in the room, how many followers do you have? Right? So we have some clients that are really good at it and doing amazingly well. We just got Natalie Friedman, and she's been out here in LA shooting scenes with people that have big followings, and just in the time that she was here, she increased her list by 3,000. We have Ksenia Valenti. She has 83,000 followers. She just increased 2,000 in the last week. That girl's blowing up. Check out Alexa Russo's social media.
Yeah.
If you want to see some of our, I'm going to put some, Natalie Friedman's got pretty good social media. Natalie Friedman. I hope I'm spelling everyone's name right. And I should be putting their handles on here for you. And Ksenia Valenti. It's Valnti. Okay, I put their names up in that. So check out those people. We have a Natalie Friedman, a Natalie Friedman, Alexa Russo, Ksenia Valenti, Ellie Smokler. She does pretty good.
And Lindsay Grill.
Yeah, Lindsay Grill, another one. Lindsay Grill.
Lindsay.
Yeah, she does great social media. These
Yeah,
are some of our clients that we do represent guys. We do have guy clients. Leo's.
I even have I have a friend in LA I went to graduate school with, who is one of the owners or co-owners of a company where they represent YouTube stars.
Right.
And they basically are working to get YouTube stars into movies and shows, right? So these are people who became stars, celebrities, by doing things on YouTube. Even things like, unboxing things from Amazon,
Yeah.
or showing products. And there are a couple of interesting rules about that, you guys. There's I watched a building a webinar. It's like a product launch show, or training program where they talk about how to build a webinar series, how to build, like anything you deliver, like a deliverable like that. And what they say is interesting. They say it's not about how great they are. It's about regularity. It's about delivering things in a way that people are like, oh, I know, right? I know that once a month, James and Valorie are going to have a webinar, right? Like I know that once a month.
Call this a webinar. Let's call it
a coaching, coaching session. And they talk about how the regularity is even more important than the particular content.
Yeah.
And so if you take that and you say, okay, so how does that apply to my acting career? Well, think about it. Valorie just told a story a few minutes ago about auditions for series regular in which 3 people were no-shows and 4 people were not prepared. Think about that. 3 people are no-shows. I mean, you guys, if you think about ourselves in our search for career success, right? And you think about like what is the way to skyrocket to success? And you think about, if you actually booked a series regular gig, what that would mean for your career. And then you say, okay, so 3 people didn't show up. That is a negative example of not being regular. The positive example of being regular is you put on clothes and you go and you do your best and you say thank you and you walk out the door. Your chances of getting booked are at least 100% better.
Yeah. And considering that the amount of jobs to ratio of actors has become more and more closer, right? There's so many acting jobs that now your chances of getting something are 1 in 4, according to the statistics last year.
Wow.
So if you show up, right, you're going to be one of those 4 very quickly.
Yep.
That's why once I applied the entrepreneur system to Actors Fast Track, it was like everyone booked. And I was like, okay, I guess I figured this out now finally after a 32-year search of the business of acting. And it's amazing. It's like, it's a journey. I added 2 more names I want to say really quick. Doreen Calderon.
Yeah.
Because one of the things I love about Doreen, first of all, she has a business, The Recognized Actor, and she does postcards for a lot of our clients and brand cards and things like that. But she's an actress, and the first year working with us, she booked 4 or 5 TV shows, 4 TV shows, 2 commercials, 1 directed by Francis, the young Coppola brother, the boy. Anyway, so that was really cool, right? And she does a picture of every audition. So she'll say the name of the character, and whatever character she's auditioning for, she looks like that character. It's so weird. And she posted on her social media. It's amazing. And
That's
then
great.
Scott Cargill, who's one of our coaches at Actors Fast Track, his social media is awesome. He does yesterday he posted the funniest thing. He put himself on tape and got an audition, put himself on tape at a tape place to play a doctor of a scene he found on Actors on Show Facts, right? They wanted a Chinese guy. He was like, he goes, I worked on it. I dressed up as a doctor. I went to the tape place because he's not doing it at his house because he has a toddler. And so he did it at the tape place. And so he was shooting this whole thing on Facebook Live. And then he said, I found out that they wanted a Chinese guy.
Now, what's great about this is, they put it on their request, they put Chinese guy, but you guys, when it actually comes to who they pick, for a role, don't make an assumption that you're not the one.
Yes.
Don't ever chop your feet down by saying, I'm not going to get this. I'm not, because you know what? You don't know. If you show up and you do your work and you walk out the door proud and relaxed, you might just be the one they pick. And they might be like, you know what? We thought we were going for this, but we really want that. Because a lot of the time they are sort of saying, you know, like we think we want this. We think we want somebody spunking and and we think we want that. But they are not really sure. They're not sure until you walk in the door. So this is where it comes down to what, you know, this idea of showing up, right? Success is about showing up again and again and again.
Yeah.
That's what success is. Success is not like you're going to suddenly be discovered, or you're going to find, you know, like, being at the right place at the right time. I like that phrase, right? Being at the right place at the right time. But guess what? You have to be at the right place at the right time 100 times. And then on the 101st time, you book a series regular.
Right.
Now, it might be that out of that 100, it's number 2, right? So you only had to be at the right place or the right time twice. But the idea is you walk in the door and you show up and you do it.
Yeah,
and you walk in the door.
Right, you show up. You just show up. I mean, especially when you're beginning your career, it always concerns me when someone's like in and out and of the, it's great to travel. I'm not saying don't travel. Like, look, I went to Poland, but I went to Poland to act. I went to Poland instead of doing a movie with Jodie Foster. My agent had a cow, but I did because, it was more important to me to go work at the Lab Theater and do that stuff. So I did crazy stuff like that as a young actor, so it's a journey. And, one of the things that we're going to talk a lot about, James, which you're going to be excited about, is tapping. One of the themes that is coming to me a lot in 2018 is acting. So that seems so weird because I run Actors Fast Track, right? But all work, no play makes Jack a dull boy, right? So I feel like it's also important to tap back in that. I mean, I'm creating these little business robots, which are great, and they're working, and they're booking work, and they're making money as actors, right? And that's what they needed to learn to do it. But at the same time, like, I come from the religion of acting, right? That's my truth. I grew up in it. I grew up on the stage. I've played great roles. I worked all over the world and worked with great playwrights. And I was so sad. This was a sad week for me. Joe Shakin, who I was he was a big fan of mine, and he was the godfather to Sam Shepard. And so they're back together again. And so Sam Shepard credited Joe Shakin with everything, you know. And so I worked on the female Haas in Tooth of Crime with Joe Shakin, and he told me that I was born to do Shepard.
That's nice.
That's a compliment. And, you know, I mean, I always responded to the playwrights that were so musical. And, you know, Tennessee Williams, of course, and Sam Shepard, and their words are so musical, you know, and, you know, that would be kind of fun, like at the retreat, maybe, that we do something that's really physical.
Yeah. Yep.
They're going to think we're crazy, the Hollywood Lows. Oh, well. Like people haven't thought I was crazy before with my purple hair. Do you see my purple hair?
Yeah, I like it.
You do?
It's kind of wild.
Thanks. Okay, but I want to talk real quick again about the AFT Game Changer.
Yeah.
AFTGameChanger.com. Go put that in your, and go get your ticket. The $197 ticket is going to get you to all 3 days. And we started with 50. We now have 28 left. That's how fast. So get your ticket for that day. We're going to be there live and in person teaching, James and I. It's going to be amazing. If you just want to come to the other 2 days, that's fine. We don't have an issue with that. That's a $27 ticket. That's it.
Yeah,
right? That
guys,
will sell out too.
Yeah, I want to just speak to that for a second, you guys. If I could go back to the year that I graduated from Yale School of Drama, 1995, and I came into New York City, and I was like, you know, I knew my talent. I knew what I was capable of doing as a performer. I knew my craft. I totally had confidence in my ability as an actor. But the business, I did not know how to break into the business. And I have long thought about this, that I would have given so much to have had the opportunity to step into Actors Fast Track. It would have changed my life. And for you guys who are out there who are sort of like in that place of, you know, how much do I commit to this? Do I say yes? Do I step into this? Should I go to this, you know, AFT Game Changer? I don't know. It's gonna take 3 days and take, you know. Well, guess what? I'm a professional actor. I coach professional actors. I graduated from the Yale School of Drama. I have played Macbeth and lots of other things. You know, Uncle Vanya. I've worked in New York City for 20 plus years. I worked in Chicago before that. And if I could do it, if I could go back and be someone who could do Actors Fast Track, I would do it. Do not hesitate. Do not hesitate, you guys. Jump in.
I wish that I would have had me too. I was lucky. I met Jay Perry, who I carried the torch from Actors Information Project from the 80s in New York. I did meet someone that was like me. I met someone that taught me the beginning of what now I've developed over 30 years, you know. And it's just so, you know, it's like for 3 years, business of acting, along with my own acting career happening, right? And always that, and it's just so funny that it's like, it's now, you know, that I don't want to say this to toot my own horn, but it's like, I'm a shaman in this business of acting shit. Like I am an expert about it because I earned that and I evolved that in my thought and in my action. And this system that I have now is tried and true. It's not made up. I didn't just decide to, you know, make a lot of money from actors. You know, I'm giving back to my own freaking community that I've bled for my whole life. Right. And it's been a journey, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. And you break my heart you don't break my heart. You just make me cry. And like, thank you, James. I mean, you are an amazing person, an amazing coach. And, you know, people will say to me, I'll go to James, and then they'll come back to me every time and they'll say, oh my God, I had no idea. I had no idea. So if you you must coach with James. And like, he's going to be here. You know, James, maybe you can schedule some coaching sessions for people while you're here, and get people to come and see you for a little acting private time. That might be a nice little thing you could do.
I like that. Yep.
Yeah. Well, you know, like when people come to Actors Fast Track, they always get a session. We in our bigger packages, we always include James, of course, because he's amazing.
Well, and you guys, Valorie has said this. There are only 28 spots left, and those spots are going to go really fast.
Yeah, and I don't have control over that, you guys. I rented a suite, and I can only put so many people in there to eat, and so you know, that's it.
So it's August 4th, right? Today, our conversation, even though it's recorded, right now it's August 4th. There are 28 spots left. We're talking about November 3rd, and already 50 spots have sold. So you're basically looking at one third still available. There's 30%, 33% of these seats are still available, and they are selling fast. So jump on it. Say yes. It really is a yes to your career. It's a yes to changing the game of your career. And you're gonna shorten the time between the dream and the fantasy and the wishing about having a career and the reality of having a career.
And activate it. I mean, I remember Alexa Russo 2 years ago came to the Game Changer, and she hired us, and she said, oh my God, this was a game changer. In the 2 years Alexa Russo has been with us, she is now in the top improv group in Los Angeles, female improv group. I mean, that's insane. She got her own group at Upright Citizens Brigade. Wayne Brady asked her to improv with Idina Menzel. Idina Menzel, but it's not Idina. It's Adele Dazeem. It's what John Travolta. That's the name of their group, Adele Dazeem. That's what John Travolta said. So yeah, like look, and like you guys, she was with one of the top agents in town and still is. Like when I met her, but she'd only had 10 auditions in 5 years. They'd signed her when she was 17, and one of those things was a giant guest star, which he booked. So they were, I don't like, you know, I'm not going to drop their name here, but anyway, you know, she was with them, and that's what's happened. And she took the bull by the horns, and she has this, she's going to be, they're going to write a series for her. She's the next, you know, what do you call it? The girl from Bloom, Rachel Bloom. Yeah, that's a YouTube star. All right, we got to go.
All right. Woo, woo, woo.
Guys, thanks for being here, and get your tickets. Okay? Thanks
for joining us.
Oh, and I'm off to Africa.
Whoa! Yay!
Yeah.
Awesome.
Bye. I'm out to Africa. All right.
Bye.
Bye. Just save the elephants. Okay, bye.
Bye.